Hello, I'm Paul from Middlewich Wharf and Floating Holidays. As you'll probably be aware from the title of the video, there's been a breach on the Llangollen Canal between Grinley Brook and Whitchurch, draining around about a mile of canal across that section. The breach has been fairly dramatic in that it's actually taken two boats into the hole and they have been washed away with the water in the canal, which has then flooded the local area, just a field, thankfully, and not like anyone's house or anything. The breach is on top of what looks like a culvert, so there's like a little tunnel for a stream that goes under the canal, and possibly that's had a hole in it which has then eroded the bank where the canal is sat on top of. So often the canal is raised up in order that you don't have to go down and up and down lots of locks, and they'll be on what's known as an embankment. So this is the drone footage that I took earlier at the site in Whitchurch, and it's quite horrific. You can imagine if you were on one of those boats, or even if you weren't on one of those boats in the breach hole there and it's your boat, it's going to be absolutely devastating. The first boat's actually been washed into the breach and the bow of the boat is somewhat buried in mud. So the pointy bit that you would normally see at the front of the boat, to use technical jargon, is you can't see it, it's just not there. This happened at 4 a.m. in the morning, so it was absolutely pitch black. So you can only imagine if anybody was on that, they would have been absolutely shitting themselves. There's no other way to put it, is it really? The other boat just behind the green one, the bluey one with the red roof, as opposed to the green one with the red roof, there was a couple of YouTubers, I think it's Now About Life Unlocked, and some guy on Rincewind, I think his boat was, that's just around the corner. And they actually had a video that they did in the middle of the evening, in the middle of the morning, where that boat was teetering on the edge of where it had started to be washed away and gradually went higher and higher and higher and eventually fell into the hole. That's the one on the right of the picture as you're looking at it there now. The boat on the left is actually hovering over the edge as of, must have been at 11 a.m. on the 22nd of December when I was there. You can see the sort of the back third of the boat is sticking over into mid-air, and if there's further heavy rain over the next few days, you can see it a bit clearer there. If there were to be further heavy rain over the next few days, there's quite likely and quite possible that that one could end up falling into the hole as well. It's going to be a mammoth task to try and get those boats lifted out of where they are, because you're going to need to get a crane in there, and there isn't really a road anywhere nearby. There is a town, it is on the outskirts of a town, but just to the right, top right of the picture there is probably where you see those buildings, as close as you'd be able to get a crane really of any substantial size. So yeah, I think those boats are going to be in the hole for quite a while, sadly, which is not going to be of any use, especially if some people are living on the boats. A lot of people do live on the boats and they're not going to be able to have anywhere to go. All their worldly possessions are going to be tied up on there, which is absolutely tragic, really. You can see there on the picture now where they've put the stop planks in just next to the swing bridge. That's quite a good result in terms of them getting them in there very close, otherwise the whole of the Whitchurch arm would have been out of the water as well. And this is just a continuation of the scene all the way for the next mile going up towards Grinley Brook, and the water is out of the canal all the way to Grinley Brook at the top block. And I was there earlier in the day, and yeah, there's not a single boat that isn't high and dry and sitting on the bottom of the mud. You can see the culvert there on the left hand side, which goes underneath the embankment. So it's going to be quite a while until that's fixed. I'd be very surprised, given the speed at which like the Middlewich branch breach took to get fixed, and the speed at which the the limb breach on the Bridgewater Canal is going, I'd be very surprised if that was fixed in 2026. Probably going to be likely sometime at the end of 2027 that gets repaired, really, which is going to cause a massive impact on people's cruising plans, a massive effect on businesses and neighbouring hospitality businesses on the canal. So quite a devastating situation, and hopefully it gets fixed soon. Thankfully nobody was hurt, nobody died, although just pure luck that happened to be the case, because any of those people that could have been on those boats could have been washed away in the torrent. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, but sad times for the people on those boats, and it doesn't look like there's much cruising on the Llangollen next year. There is going to be cruising for us and our customers on the Four Counties Ring, which is still a good solid week's cruising. We've also got the Calden. You can go to Chester from our route from our branch in Middlewich. So still plenty of cruising to be done from where we are. But most of the routes on the Llangollen, you've only really got a day and a half, from one end to where this breach is and back again. So there's going to be a lot of potential shorter breaks on the Llangollen this year if you are on the other side of the breach. So that's all for now. More as we hear more, and thanks for watching.